I have no reference to what nothing is.
I think you do.
I have no reference. There's nothing someone's thinking of like a blank, like.
Because I appreciate you're a deep guy.
It cannot.
When you go to the macroatomic level, it's like you're going to have the atom and
atom. You got yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when you get smaller and smaller, so there's always something there.
Yeah.
But okay, do you agree the universe began to exist?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Currently, the leading scientific position is the universe began to exist. The universe has an age, hence it's got a start date.
It's got an age that we know of, and it's not saying that it's got an age. That's as far back as we can see right now.
No, I think.
What, the Big Bang?
Basically,
the
yeah.
Big Bang is just a case of that's as far as we can see as of now. So that's how we're going to say it is now. We can't see further than the Big Bang. So we have to go by what we've got now. So we say it's, what is it, like 4.6 billion years or something like that. And if future developments in science prove, like, can see further, it might change.
I agree,
Yeah.
because science is limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can't give you absolute truths. It gives you theories. Yeah. Hypotheses. So at the moment, like I said, the leading scientific position is it has an age. It began to exist. So from what we know now, because I think perhaps a more interesting question for yourself is, what do you know?
What do I know?
Yeah. What do you know?
In the grand scheme of things, I know nothing.
Okay. Are you here? Do you exist?
I believe I exist. Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I'm thinking, not because I think. I'm thinking. Not that I think, therefore I am. I'm thinking.
Plato, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Plato, but it's not. I think that therefore I am.
I'm thinking, therefore I am.
Therefore I am. Because even if it's like I'm thinking, but therefore I am, it could be a case where your brain's in a vat somewhere and you think you're in this, like I'm in this body, but it's like that brain is still thinking to be able to transmit to this thing that I know.
So when you're dreaming, are you thinking?
I don't know. Well, I don't know enough about that sort of stuff. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'm not. I can answer that.
So you know for certain you exist because you're thinking. Yeah.
I'm taking a. I don't know for certain, but it's a good. I think it's a good avenue to go down to understand if I exist or not.
Okay. So back to my question. What do you know for certain? You don't sound very certain that you exist.
Because I don't deal in absolutes. So if I say I definitely know I exist, I'm sure you're going to ask for proof that how I know that. And if I can't explain how I know, then it's just a moot point.
No, not even that. I'm going to be honest with you, right? You don't necessarily need to convince me.
Oh
No, in the sense that of why you believe what you think is true. But as long as there's a process, and I'm not going to try to change your process. I'm going to try and meet you with your process, and then end at a desired goal of believing in leading to a conclusion that is more logical and rational, that there is a creator, then the universe came from nothing.
But then it begs the question, where did the creator come from?
That's fine. And it's a flawed question, due to the fact that the creator, as defined by Islamic jurisprudence in regards to Allah, which I would argue is the creator of the heavens and the earth, creator of the universe, by definition is uncreated. Right. It's independent, it's outside of the universe, it has will, and there's nothing, it's inequivocable, uncomparable to the creation.
Right.
So Allah created everything, and Allah is uncreated, because if you permitted me to do my logical thought exercise, you'll see that from nothing comes nothing. The universe didn't create itself. The universe is finite. It was created. It began to exist. It's dependent. So you need something independent to put it into motion. And at the moment, that is the most logical and rational conclusion we have currently for the existence of the universe. Because even if a scientist would argue Big Bang, I would argue what caused the Big Bang. Because particles colliding, motion, that leads to cause and effect.
Yeah.
What's the cause? And another argument I would use would be there's too much design for there not to be a designer. Yeah? And again, potentially that could be subjective and that's a lengthy argument. But I would say it's objectively true. But again, I appreciate it's a Friday evening, you're in a rush, so I'm going to try to get to the desired goal as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And I find that this starting the conversation like this gets to the desired end goal quicker. So I think with yourself, I don't know if it's humility or what your thought process is when you have no certainty, but are you certain you're going to die?
From everything that, like, from seeing it happen and things like that, it's a very good, like, unbelievably high possibility that I will die, yes.
Yeah. But are you certain of it though?
I would say I'm fairly certain, yeah. I'm very certain. I'm very certain that I'll die.
Yeah?
I'm very certain that I'll die, yeah.
Alright. So, the faculties you've used to be certain, I would say if you use the same faculties with the same level of criteria, you would agree with my claim.
I don't think so. Like, I'm certain gravity will keep me down, even though there's a chance it doesn't exist. The thing with...
But again, gravity is actually an excellent example because you can't see, test, feel. You can't test gravity, but you judge it based on its effects.
You can test, yeah, you can test it by seeing its effects.
That's my point.
Yeah, but you can test it.
How?
By seeing its effects. Like, how do you see its effects? You see that everything's pulled, like the research is done, everything is pulled towards the center of the earth.
So you're making a logical inference based on the apparent effects. And I'm saying use the same inference for that from nothing comes nothing. Because again, it's a basic logical premise, and you could argue you don't know what nothing is, yeah, but you have a concept of nothing, yeah.
I vaguely have a concept of nothing. I don't think anyone can actually truly understand what nothing is. Like truly, I don't think anyone can truly understand what nothing is.
I think we're experiencing nothing on a regular basis, but there's different levels of nothing. Does that make sense? On a I can't even pronounce the words. When it comes to the atoms,
yeah,
that's like, but that's not how we live our lives.
No, I get it.
Does that make sense? When you open your fridge and there's no food in it, you're like, there's no food here.
Yeah.
You're not like, I'm not sure. There's no certainty.
Like,
who knows?
But that's the thing. You can be pedantic. You say there's nothing in my fridge. There is. There's like the shelves that your things go on.
But that's my point. And I feel like that's what you're being. You're being pedantic with this conversation.
Yeah, but I think with this stuff, because there's no certainty with anything, you have to be pedantic. Because if you're not pedantic, then you can just kind of get away with saying, like, I can get away with saying things that aren't necessarily true.
But then
like the whole universe came into nothing. Big Bang doesn't say that the Big Bang caused the. I believe it doesn't say like it's the start of the universe. It just says that's the furthest we can see back.
I've never actually heard that.
Yeah,
I think
that is what it is. It's not saying that's the beginning of the universe. That is the furthest we can see with what our technology and stuff. That's the furthest back we can see. That is what it is. I think people.
And again, you can't see the Big Bang.
No, you can. You can see the Big Bang.
I think what they're judging it was in regards to the expansion of the universe.
But you can see it. You can see it.
How do you see it?
How light years work. Because of how long it takes light to travel, they can see, I forget how old they say it is, but I think it's like 4 billion. They can see 4 billion years into the past, but because light takes that long to travel here, that's how they can see it. Like you can look up, I can't give any sources right now off the top of my head, but you can look up things to do with actually seeing the Big Bang. And again, I believe the professionals will not say that it's the start, it's the furthest we can see back. And then regarding the...
So just to address that, when it comes to the known observable universe, so they can't see the expansion. So when they describe the universe expanding, that's as far as they can see.
That's as far as they can see, as of yet.
As of yet. However, when it comes to the Big Bang, I've never, through my research and through my in-depth conversation, and I've done a lot of in-depth research on this topic, heard it phrased the way you phrased it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be polite.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm highly certain that is the case.
Highly certain?
I'm highly certain. Look, I'm going off of memory.
No, fair enough, of course.
So I'm not going to stand here and go, oh, this is how it is, and I'm not taking anything else. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I believe what I remember. You kind of have to, otherwise.
Was it like peer?
It was
peer reviewed, or don't tell me he's going on Wikipedia.
Cox. What's his name? His second name's Cox, I believe. He's like an astrophysicist.
Yeah.
Brian Cox, maybe. And yeah, but regarding the like the universe needs a creator, there's an argument that the universe itself is the creator. Like it's come from. Sorry, I feel uncomfortable. Like.
How about rather listen?
Yeah, no, you carry on listening. Sorry, I think he's just managing distance.
It was just the distance.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was just the distance.
Yeah,
so like there's the argument that the universe itself is a form of God. It's not my argument.
Let's leave that to one side. It's about what you feel strongly enough, or what you've looked into enough that you agree with it. But I think before we even continue this conversation, I think we need to really come to terms with certainty, and that level of skepticism and the lack of certainty. You don't extend it to every part of your life.
No, because you take.
So it's interesting how you're. Sorry. Go on.
You take experiences and stuff like that to infer that something will happen, and yeah, you take experiences. Sometimes you're wrong. Like if you touch fire, it's hot. It's going to burn you. Don't touch it again. It's likely that if you touch fire again, it's going to burn you.
Yeah. No, I get the premise, but it's like you have family members, and with the whole extension in regards to anything is no certainty. So you can't be certain that they're not going to implode. They're not going to suddenly be a different mindset, like completely different personality. But then it's like, because you have the level of uncertainty with everything, but you're not going to assume that. Yeah? And I appreciate that's through your experience, but I'm saying use your experience, use, what's the word? Testimony, use through deduction and inferences that what I'm saying is a strong argument. I'm using these tools, deduction, inference, you know what I mean, to actually say that, look, the universe didn't create itself because it's the same as a mother giving birth to herself. It doesn't make sense.
No, I get that, yeah. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you use all those tools, but then you come to a thing that,
the possibility you might be wrong. Yeah. And I'm honest, even getting to Allah is, let's wait. Let's just, because at the moment, before we even introduce the premise of Allah, because the Quran makes the argument, it said, it makes you reflect. It's a book that makes you ponder. Yeah? And it says that, look, did you come from nothing? Did you create yourself? You have no certainty.
Yeah. But like not having certainty does not give me enough. It doesn't give me enough to go, that must be it.
No, must be it. We're not even going to use such emphatic language. Let's just say that it's more likely.
I still don't think it's more likely.
So you think the universe coming from nothing is more likely
I never said it came from nothing.
than. No, that's my premise. That's my claim. Does that make sense? So you're disagreeing with my claim, and my claim is that it's more logical and rational that the universe was created, by a creator, then it came from nothing. Yeah? And I appreciate that you don't know what nothing is, you don't know blah, 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 but from my unlimited knowledge and understanding of nothing, through deduction and inference and all this kind of other stuff, through lived experience, through testimony from scientists and experts, because I don't claim to be an expert on science, that from nothing comes nothing. I've never, even Professor Stephen Krauts, he wrote a book in regards to the God particle, and he wasn't arguing about nothing, he was redefining nothing to actually make his argument that something can come from nothing. And I'm like, well, that's not nothing, you're just redefining nothing into something where it's got particles and so on and so forth. So I'm saying nothing's the absence of something, there's absolutely nothing there, because even if we went with what you're saying in regards to the Big Bang Theory and this is what we know now, I'm agreeing with you from the knowledge we have now. So the knowledge, you criticize the language of it being created, you just, they don't see it as a beginning. That's not the beginning point.
I don't believe that they see it as the beginning, that's just as far as they can see, and that's why they, we can only go by what we know, so that's as far as we can see, so that's as old as we believe it is. But even then, the Big Bang, it's things colliding, it's not nothing.
That's my point.
But it's not nothing.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that there must have been something that made that happen.
Because what other options are there? Because if you have a universe full of dependent things, then it wouldn't make sense for it to exist, because if it's depending on this, and this is dependent on that, and that's dependent on that, and that's dependent on that, because it comes back to your question in regards to who created God or Allah. Firstly, I made the point that it's a flawed question, but even if you use our logical faculties that we have currently to say, okay, who created this, created that creator, who created this, created that creator, who created this, then the universe would never begin to exist. I'll give you an example. Here, we have the Quran. To read the Quran, you need permission from your twin standing behind you. He needs permission from his twin that's standing behind him. This continues forever. So for you to read the Quran, you need to ask the person behind you. He needs to ask the person behind him. This continues forever. Would you ever get to read the Quran?
No, you wouldn't.
Who created the creator? Who created God that created God? Who created God that created God that created God that created God that created God? We need an endpoint. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
But if we say the universe is independent of itself, but I'm not. Again, I don't necessarily believe this. It's like, what if? Because some people see the universe as God, like people that are.
But again, why would you make a argument of something that you're not really convinced by? Because it's a theory. I could make multiple theories.
I know you could, but I'm making that point because I don't necessarily have a solid belief. I go based on what I infer from other things that I haven't seen in life. I'm making that one because I don't have a solid one to because I'm not trying to disprove anything or anything like that. It's just it's another thought process of where the beginning could have been.
I would argue that you're happy to be an atheist. That probably gives you some sort of freedom, some sort of kind of non-accountability, because when we take, if there's no certainty,
I think it's less accountability. It's more because
no, because right now, whenever I commit murder, whenever I commit murder, it's not time yet. I've got a accountability to the higher power that look, I'm gonna be punished or so on and so forth, right? But with yourself, it's like, if you can get away with it, if the law doesn't catch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you certain that there are some actions which is evil? Is rape, are you certain it's evil? Is it wrong? Murder, is it wrong? Are you certain of that?
Yeah, I'm certain of that.
Why?
Because I wouldn't like it being done to me. So if I see something that I wouldn't like being done to me, I will reciprocate and not want to do that to other people. Like, I've heard the argument, like, not argument, but someone say, like, you're atheist, why don't you, and you've got no higher power to, like...
Moral compass.
Moral compass.
A objectively true moral compass.
Yeah, why don't you go murder and rape and kill as much as you want? And it's like, I do, I just don't want to do that.
Why don't you? Because you don't want to,
I don't know,
but you don't have a foundation or anchor to stop you.
I do, I have
which is,
it's me.
But that's subjective though.
Yeah, sure, it's subjective. It's subjective.
And now, based in the country you're living in, the time we're in, you know what I mean? Time of Hitler, you would have been like, yeah, why not? Slavery, yeah, why not? Because, so I'm saying that, look, in Islam we have an objective morality. So it's like, because the creator of the heaven and earth has legislated what's right and wrong. So I can tell you cannibalism is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you incest is wrong.
Right.
Yeah. But you wouldn't be able to say it. You can say, I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Based on socialization. Yeah. And you can't say that it's going to be wrong in 100 years' time. There's positions you held when you was 15, which is different to...
yeah, 100%. Yeah. I feel like the murder and rape and stuff, I feel like it will be wrong in 100 years. Because,
really?
Because it's got to do with yourself. Like, I don't want to be murdered. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be raped. I don't want to be this. So I extend that to my fellow human. I don't want to murder you. I don't want to rape you. I don't want to.
If you have a family member, she was raped, murdered in a brutal way, and you was able to take revenge, then you will see your moral quandary going out the window. Be like, Chati, he deserves the death penalty. In fact, I'm going to kidnap him. I'm going to torture him to death.
Fun, like with me personally, I know it's hard to just say it because it hasn't happened, but I genuinely don't think I would. I genuinely don't think I would. Like, I'm fully against the death penalty. Like,
I like how you're uncertain about...
I'm saying I'm uncertain because it's unfair for me to say I won't because it hasn't happened to me. Yeah. I genuinely...
No, but you're quite certain you wouldn't do it.
I'm like 99.9% I wouldn't do it, but like, it hasn't happened.
But something coming from nothing, you're like, it's too much of a...
But something coming from nothing is the same. It's like, there's nothing to, nothing isn't there for us to know what nothing is to then infer that this can happen from nothing.
Okay.
So again, it's like, I'm not sure.
From your understanding of the known universe, is there examples of just things randomly happening for no reason, without any cause?
Without any cause?
Yeah.
I can't think of one right now, no.
And I would argue you wouldn't be able to think of one.
Mm-hmm.
So, through inference of your known, what you know, you can't give an example of something happening without a cause.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of one, but I still think it's a leap to say, therefore it's this, or even a certain type of...
No, but isn't it more likely, from what you know of the known universe, that something's not going to just randomly happen without a cause? Because you have no practical example. Science isn't leaning towards that. So it's like, wait, it's actually more of a leap. It's less logical to say the universe, like, anything can just happen randomly without a cause. And I'm saying that my cause is Allah, the creator of the heavens and earth. And then we can have a lengthier conversation in regards to the objective reasons to believe in Allah.
Right.
And why Allah, what attributes, qualities Allah has to actually make me believe in my inference and what I'm asserting.
With the way I think, it's got to do with sure, I don't know what caused it, if there was a cause.
No,
I know.
leaving the example of the universe, because that leap happens at the universe, but you don't have anything to substantiate that leap when it comes to the creation of the universe, excluding the universe.
That's the point of like science, though. Like we don't know yet.
No, but
We
from
may
what
never
we
know,
know,
but-
we know, because even now you know about gravity,
Yeah.
because science has said it. But
Because
science
they
is
can
saying,
experiment, like
Yeah.
you can't experiment to show that God exists. There's no way to prove a God exists. There's no way to prove a God created the universe.
no, there's no way of using science to prove God doesn't exist. Science is limited by what you rightfully
But-
said, what you can test, what you can examine, what, you know what I mean? It needs to be repeatable. There's a lot of limitations to science. And even leading scientists will argue that you can't come to absolute truths using science.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I agree science is a limited tool. Yeah? A lot of people lean towards science, hence I use science and I use it to introduce the conversation, but I'm knowing rightfully that of its limitations, and then saying that look, there's other tools we can use, like you were saying, logic and inference and you know what I mean, deduction. So where I'm not going to say that look, I'm going to scientifically prove to you the existence of Allah.
Yeah.
That's not my claim.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So from what science as a tool that we're using currently, of what we can test and what we do know, there is an example that you can give me, and it's not that you can think of or it slipped your mind. There is no known example of anything happening without a cause.
Sure, but it's the same both ways.
But then you're gonna use that to say that look, I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that from all the tools you're using, you should be more convinced that something can't happen without a cause. Now we need to establish what that cause is, and if I can use Allah to actually fill that void. You know what I mean? Because again, I'm not arguing God of the gaps. I'm saying it's logical and rational. Now, there's another tool I can use, yeah, the Quran. I'm going to make a bold claim that this is a divinely inspired kalam of Allah, the word of the creator of the heavens and the earth. Yeah? What would you need from me to be convinced of this?
I don't know what.
What if I was to say there's no contradictions in it? What if I was to say objectively true, it's been perfectly preserved? Yeah? Would you be likely to believe it? If I was to say it has prophecies.
I haven't read it. So
No. These are things you need to verify. But I'm giving you my criteria because you couldn't think of a criteria. And then if it meets those criteria, once you've done your independent research, would you agree it's a divinely inspired scripture? It has prophecies.
Again,
it talks about subjects.
I can't say because I haven't done the proper research yet. So like you're asking me, would I?
Do you agree with my criteria? So criteria one,
Okay.
it needs to be perfectly preserved.
Yeah.
That needs to be verifiably true, objectively true. There can't be any contradictions in it. That needs to be objectively true, verifiable. It can't have any I've already said contradictions. Prophecies, it makes prophecies come true. It talks about subjects 1400 years ago, which when it was revealed, where it's impossible for it to know. And it gets it right, it talks about it like an expert. Because I'm saying it's the revelation from the creator of the heavens and earth. So it needs to be profound. Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Is
Is that not a high threshold? Is that not high?
It is, but I'm highly. I won't say I won't be absolute, but I'm highly skeptical. It is.
No. If it meets those criteria, it's something different.
If it does, which I don't believe it does.
No. That's that's not even the question I'm asking
If
you.
it does, then.
Because I'm saying I'm giving
if
impossible
if it,
criteria.
If it did, then yeah.
Yeah. Now, preservation, because Allah says this is from Allah and Allah will preserve it. Yeah. If you Google Quran Birmingham manuscript, you will see we have a carbon dated Quran in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, And now in a university in this country, we have a carbon dated Quran by non-Muslim academics who are saying that it's carbon dated. It's in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Yeah. I'm not even talking about the Quran in a university in Cairo. I'm not even talking about the Quran in a museum in Turkey. Yeah. I'm talking here, UK, Birmingham.
Yeah.
So when you get a chance, Google Quran Birmingham manuscript.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to contradictions, when you do any research, you'll see that no one actually makes a claim that the Quran's got mistakes in it. And you're thinking, wait.
I've heard some. I've just heard it in passing. I haven't verified it. I haven't necessarily believed them because I haven't done my own research. But
what did they come with?
one where it said that Muhammad split the moon in half.
Okay. Again, that's a miracle.
But
it's not referenced in the Quran.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what if I was to give you scientific evidence about the moon being split? How do you feel about that? Scientific evidence.
If you give me scientific evidence, but I don't think it's there.
Yeah. All right. There's this guy. What's his name, man? He's got a website, right? And he's uploaded and he's put it all on one particular website. Yeah. Where it talks about. NASA talking about how the moon, there's signs of it being split.
Right.
So I'll give you that reference. Yeah. So again, because I think, look, to be realistic, this is a lengthy conversation.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to do some independent research.
I've got my friend waiting over there.
Why are you trying to put that drunken guy was your friend? What are you embarrassed of him for?
Jesus, no,
he left. He felt and so he's like, look, man, we're gonna go out for a drink.
He was like right up at my face. Oh, Jesus.
So that's one thing. But then again, like, that's not a reference made in the Quran. That's the Sunnah.
Okay.
I as a Muslim, accept that to be true because I believe in miracles. But I mean, 80% of the Quran has been proven 100% correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The other 20% is ambiguous when it talks about heaven and hell. I believe in heaven and hell. When it talks about angels. Yeah.
Oh, so that's what I mean. So things like that, the criteria you gave me before.
Yeah. But you can't prove or disprove that.
I
so things
that.
you can.
I understand that, but like even if there's some things that you can't prove or disprove, even if it's 10%, even if it's 20%,
But my
I'm
point
not saying it throws the whole book out of question. It just
I'm saying
take
when it makes
seriously.
claims that you can objectively verify and it hasn't been falsified.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'm likely to believe the other 20% when it talks about heaven and hell and angels, to be correct. Does it make sense? Because when it makes a claim, for example, what's one of the claims it asserts? It talks about embryology, and uses the word alaka. Yeah? When this information was given to Professor Keith Moore, the leading embryological expert, he said it's not possible for anyone to have known this when microscopes didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah. You can Google Professor Keith Moore. He's a professor in university in Canada, Toronto. Yeah, and he's given books awards by America for writing the best book on embryology. Yeah. Now, when it uses the word alaka in the Quran, there's three meanings to it. Yeah. All three meanings is applicable to the embryo as it is now.
Okay.
Yeah. But then it goes through our level of knowledge, how it's evolved. For example, alaka means something leech-like.
Right.
Yeah. Something that clings and a blood clot. Yeah. So 1400 years ago when the Quran was revealed, it's like you would think alaka, the baby, it's like a leech because it's taking nutrients from the mother. Yeah. But now when we look at the embryo through a microscope, we see that, it actually literally looks like a leech through a microscope. Yeah, just a thing. Normally I've got a book on Quran and modern science. Yeah. And by the way, I'm making these points leaning on science. Like I said before, I don't believe science can give you to absolute truths. Yeah. I believe that the Quran is a book of science. So it gives you the science, so it's not a book of science. So I'm not going to be I accept that science is limited and it gets things wrong. But here he agrees with it, so I'm like, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? I'm not going to say the Quran says the world is flat, yeah, and science just is getting it wrong. Yeah. And ironically, the Quran actually talks about it being geospherical, but yeah, and blood clot, and then it talks about the embryo and the stages it goes through in the Quran, and the 7 stages, 8 stages, it says it in the exact order that it takes place. Blood clot, the bones are formed, the flesh is grafted on it, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I'm like, how is it possible for anyone to know this 1400 years ago when the leading philosophers who you indirectly quote, like Plato and so on and so forth, thought that the sperm had a human embryo, like in a baby, and it's da-da-da, and so on and so forth. So that's what the leading minds thought at that time, but the Quran came with a different narrative. Right. So the point I was trying to make is, each meaning is right, and there's no contradictions in it. And this is the profound nature of the Quran and the Arabic language. So how do you feel about what I've said? Because I appreciate you do need to go, and I want to kind of wrap it up, and rather than you just punch him in the face and going.
Oh, no, of course not.
If you want to, I'm ready. I'm ready.
No chance.
Are you certain?
No, 100%. You've been lovely.
Thank you. What's your name, by the way?
It's Oren.
Oren.
Yeah.
Ridwan. Thank you,
Ridwan.
Oren. Go on, you were saying? I'll let you have the final thoughts, and then, if you permit me, I would like to exchange details and give you the references. I would like you to look into the matter of the universe not beginning with the Big Bang, but that's what's observable, and I'll do my research and then see who's right, who's wrong. Right. But that's if you're willing to follow up this conversation. We're normally here on Saturdays with a Big Ten, so we can continue conversation there. But yeah, I'll let you have your final thoughts.
Overall, it's still so many things are ambiguous. I don't know enough about what you said in like the last bit you said about the embryo and everything like that. I don't know enough about...
No, you need to do independent research, because you're basing on like...
No, that's what I'm saying right now.
I'm not dishonest, I'm being honest with you, I'm not lying.
Saying right now, I don't know enough to really comment on it right now. I just don't know enough.
Have I enticed you to read the Quran?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not ready to read it just yet.
Why?
I've got a lot of things going on, and it's going to take up a lot of time. But I think I will get to it. I genuinely think I will get to it.
It's there, look, it's open.
No, I don't.
It's calling you,
No, I know.
It's fresh. Look, it hasn't been touched.
I live in East London, where like the Qurans are available basically anywhere I go. When I'm ready, I'll 100% read it.
It's interesting you said it will take up too much of your time. How? If you permit me, because if you don't like it, you're not going to read it. You're going to open it up, but yeah, how's it going to take up so much time? I'm just curious.
Because I want to read it even if I don't like it. Like I will.
You'll commit to reading it regardless.
I will commit to reading it regardless, because I feel.
But
like
why are you going to read it? Not now when I give it to you, but why do you have the desire to read it? Because
I have the desire to read it because I feel like blindly doing things. I want to be able to stand when someone's asking me something. I don't want to be saying something else, and then because I haven't done research on it, or I haven't made myself educated on the subject, I just look like a fool.
What do you study, by the way? Have you studied?
I studied history. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I feel like I don't know how I feel about you going this conversation without reading it, and I think that look. Even if you commit to reading it, I don't think any harm will come out of it.
No, I don't think any harm will. That's why I'm open to reading it. I don't think harm will come out of it, because I genuinely...
Because it's the fastest-growing religion in the world.
I know, but I genuinely believe that even after I read it, that's why I really want to read it when I've got the time. And the time when I say time, it's personal issues, things I don't want to go into. But the reason I'm very open to reading it, it's like the Bible. I'm open to read. Like I read that when I was a kid, and like
what religious scripture are you going to read first? The Bible or the Quran?
I was forced to do it. Because
I appreciate that. No, I mean now.
Well, the Bible is riddled with like loads of contradictions. Like if you was a Christian sat here saying the contradictions, I could go off so many.
Yeah.
But I've read it and know the contradictions, so I could go like no,
Yeah.
it's contradictory here.
But my point is, why don't you read the Quran, not with the intention of finishing it?
Do you know why I don't want to take it right now?
Yeah.
I haven't got a bag or anything like that, and I'm like
Alright.
going out, and I don't
No,
want,
no,
I
that's
don't
fine,
want
that's
like
fine.
damage it or anything
No, no,
like
but
that.
for future reference, I would say, when you do read it, why don't you actually read it with a critical mind to actually
Yeah, yeah.
disprove it? Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and then as soon as you get to one contradiction,
Yeah,
just
I
leave
mean,
it.
that, because I use science. You have to use scientific method. You have to try and disprove stuff to then. Because if you're trying to prove it, it's out the window already. Because you'll convince yourself of anything, even if it does contradict itself.
Yeah.
So I will go in when I read it. I will go in like with criticism.
Yeah, yeah. And I
straight
welcome
away.
it.
And if I don't find any, I don't find any. But yeah,
Absolute pleasure.
lovely
Absolute
meeting you.
pleasure. Take care of yourself.
Oh, that's lovely you now.
Have a nice life. Take care of yourself. Alhamdulillah, I sincerely appreciate his time. I welcome him to look into the matter more. And yeah, I think what happens is sometimes we make these arguments and we don't actually have a strong foundation, because a lot of the points he was making, I haven't seen, I haven't heard of it, and he's left without us exchanging details, but I would like to have really challenged him on it. Okay, alhamdulillah, make dua for him. May Allah bless him with hidayat and accept it from us. Remember Palestine in your duas. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.